Hello, I'm going to give quick overview of the history of what we call SingularityNET reputation system over the last 23 years. In fact, it all started 23 years ago at the project run by Ben Goerzel called WebMind, and one part of this project was development of so-called personal WebMind, which was about to creating a person or user-faced part of the global web, artificial brain residing on the web. Another, and that part of project was run by Stefan Bugaj. Another direction of work in this project was so-called collaborative filtering, and what we called, and it was run by Sasha Chislenko, and the collaborative filtering functionality right now well known as recommendation systems, recommender systems. So that's what we were working on 20 years ago. On my end, I was working in the area called now artificial psychology. So we were developing the fundamental and theoretical and practical basis of creating artificial psyche. And in particular, I was working on building this psyche to be uh, corresponding to the user needs, to be actually so we can ensure that the motivations and the goals and the objectives of the artificial brain that we're creating are aligned with the human values and the human purposes. And the basic principle of this artificial psyche, as it was suggested by Ben, was so-called compassion-based psyche model, where the operations of the artificial psyche is based on the compassion. What it means is it means that whenever you are talking about artificial agents or real agents like humans or AIs, each of them builds the belief system of the outer world, and the social part of the outer world is part of the belief system of an agent. And this social part of the belief system corresponds to peers of the agent communications, relationships between peers, and images of values of these peers in the reflection of the as they are reflected in the cognitive model of the specific agent. And then the all operations and actions and thoughts and goals of this individual agent is aligned to the way to the image to the imaginary belief systems and social structures of the surrounding environment. Later on, after the WebMind project, I kept working in this direction, and it has ended up with two things. First of all, I have wrote a bunch of papers justifying further development of this kind of model, and it has been formulated as computable cognitive model based on social evidence and restricted by resources. And later on, with Dr. Vityayev, we have extended the personal computational model of consciousness was extended for cognitive model of the whole community. So we ended up with the definition and formalization of the social cognitive model of a society or social group as a hierarchical functional systems of hierarchies of individual consciousnesses. And again, it was based on social evidence, perceptions of individuals by each other, and resources that they are constrained with. On the other hand, on practical side, I have started my own open source Aigents project, which is supposed to be the was supposed to be the personal assistant, and that would help people to deal with online environments, be it web, Google, social networks, messengers, like Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and also at some point I have added support for blockchains like Steemit and Golos. These blockchains, which besides which have the social interaction component in addition to financial components. So in fact, Steemit and Golos are social networks on blockchains. Later on, in early 2017, while working with blockchains, I have realized that the principles of social computing, as I started to call it now at that time, where the social computing is actually about technology and principles and particular math describing the relationships between people and actually regulating and ruling driving the relationships between the people in the social environments. So I realized that relying on the principles of such social computing, one can easily suggest new form of consensus for decentralized and distributed social environments, be these environments real human communities or blockchains. So we ended up with suggestion of new kind of proof of reputation consensus, which will describe it a little bit more on this talk. On the practical side, we have dramatically extended support of different online infrastructures being supported by the Aigents social computing platform, and we started to call it not a personal assistant but social computing platform, because besides social personal assistance, it can provide the great assistance for communities structuring out the communication, social structures and communications in these structures. So we added support for blockchains like Ethereum, financial ecosystems like PayPal, forums like Discourse, and we added messengers such as Slack and Telegram, and also added account for the RSS feeds, so they could be also involved in the analysis and information processing. Later on, when SingularityNET has started in 2017, we I have started working with Ben and SingularityNET on the reputation system. And the first thing that we have done, we have actually created the design for what we call decentralized reputation system and reputation agency that can be used in SingularityNET platform as itself, as well as in whatever other platforms that rely on decentralized social interactions. And we also have nailed down the formal definition of the reputation algorithm that can be used in all forms of information processing in decentralized social environments, and we called it weighted liquid rank reputation algorithm. Later on, we have run 2-year research on applying the weighted liquid rank reputation algorithm for marketplaces. On the way, two different implementations of the weighted liquid rank reputation algorithm has been created. One of them was in Java, written as part of the Aigents platform, and another one was in Python and written as a research platform in SingularityNET reputation system. And based on that developments, we have run lots of simulations on the virtual marketplaces, and we ended up with design and practical implementation which makes it possible to discriminate the honest suppliers and dishonest suppliers which act on the market by means of reputation gaming and churning, and providing using fake accounts, bots, in order to scam the reputation system, abuse the reputation system in order to make dishonest profits. So we were able to show how our reputation system based on the weighted liquid rank algorithm can can isolate these dishonest suppliers. On the right here you see them below the 50% reliability or reputation score threshold, and figure out that all honest most of honest suppliers reside above the base threshold of 50% reputation score, and most of them are even above closer to 100%. Moreover, we once we have got this implementation of the unified liquid rank reputation computation available as part of Aigents platform, we have added support for the reputation computation to any of the platforms supported by Aigents. So right now, one can easily compute the reputation scores using weighted liquid rank algorithm in any of the platforms that the agency is supporting, like Twitter, Reddit, Slack, Telegram, Vkontakte, Discourse forums, and 3 blockchains that we are supporting right now. Moreover, in the very latest years, the reputation system has been adopted in Mindplex project, Then we are having discussions about having this reputation system as one of the fundamental pieces of the hypercycle project. And also I have a couple of students working on different applications of the reputation system and reputation consensus and the weighted liquid rank algorithm, such as developing a novel form of the reputation consensus for blockchain and applying reputation system for better content recommendation. So here is the work created by one of my students. He has shown that using different forms of proof of reputation consensus, you can achieve superior performance, transactional performance compared to state-of-the-art blockchains known in the industry. And the other work which has been created by my other student, which is currently my PhD student, is applying the liquid rank algorithm for the content recommendation. So that shows that using the liquid rank algorithm to adjust the content recommendation based on the reputations of the recommenders, we can dramatically increase both precision and recall, having substantially more reliable and less irrelevant recommendations on the content, as we have tried it on the social media, in particular content recommendation on Twitter. Thank you. That's all, folks.